and welcome. I am Amarachi Ubani. Tonight, Senator Shekau again offers to mediate between the federal government and Boko Haram if invited. Nigerian Navy sets illegal refinery on fire in River State, warns operators to stop sabotaging the nation. Lagos State government toes a path of the presidency, orders establishment of a single treasury account for the state. And wreckage of Indonesian passenger airliner is found. We begin tonight with an offer of readiness by a senator at the National Assembly representing Kaduna Central, Shekau, who says if asked, he would be willing to negotiate between the federal government and the Boko Haram insurgents in a bid to end hostilities in the northeast region of the country. Senator Sani has also outlined steps in such negotiation. He says first the government must show genuine intention to dialogue with Boko Haram, and then should also be willing to implement agreement reached with them.
We are going to take the dialogue option under President Muhammadu Buhari administration. There are a number of things that need to be considered. First of all, the insurgent group must be willing and ready for dialogue. Secondly, the channel of dialogue and the arbiters must be credible. Thirdly, the government must be ready to make concessions. And fourthly, there must be an arbiter who must see to the implementation of the terms of this dialogue. What I'm saying is, under President Muhammadu Buhari administration, I'm very much glad that the president has also opened a window to say he is for dialogue and he is for negotiation. And I think with that in place, is a first step to do it. So what next need to be done is that if my intervention is requested, I am prepared to intervene. And because this is not something you can simply jump into. A law is in place now that has criminalized any attempt to communicate, to relate in any way with the insurgent group as a terror organization. So whoever is going to facilitate any meaningful dialogue that will produce result must be given this waiver. So a team of credible Nigerians to reach out to the insurgents and divide the dialogue into two. The first is to seek the release of the Chibok girls and all those who have been held in detention and in captivity by the insurgent group. And then when that issue is done, we can now address the broader issue of reaching a truce, a ceasefire, that will see to the end of the insurgency.
Senator Shekau. Meanwhile, the governor of Yobe State, Ibrahim Gaidan, says he's hopeful that the renewed zeal by the federal government to fight insurgency will soon produce impressive results. While hosting the new service chiefs in Damaturu, the Yobe State capital, Governor Gaidan lamented the level of damage done to the northeast region. He, however, charged the chiefs to get the job done quickly so that integration of displaced persons can begin and be concluded in the shortest time possible.
The required attention expected from the federal government was not gotten because we are laymen in areas of security, but in a layman's point of view, we observe that deployment of troops, enough troops and equipment was very critical to reverse the operation. That was not done. So I did not blame the army or the military that time because you don't give them enough equipment to fight and you expected them to fight to go and die. So there are not, the required troops were not there. The required equipment was not there. So actually that was one of the main reasons why a remarkable achievement was not recorded that time. So you can see the difference now. When the new chiefs and NSA were appointed by President Muhammadu Buhari, that very day when the chief of army staff took over office, he was in Damaturu. That gave our people here in Yobe State a substantial degree of hope, and the military on ground, the troops on ground, a kind of a moral booster. That was the first time, I think, to the best of my knowledge, we're seeing the chief of army staff here in Damaturu.
Meanwhile, the federal government has begun monitoring suspected Boko Haram and ISIS recruits on Facebook and Twitter. The reason is that intelligence reports indicate that some kind of conversations have been going on between some young Nigerians attempting to join the terrorist groups on social media. And to frustrate this, the government has hacked into their accounts and is on their trail with the intention of arresting them. The project is being managed by the Office of the National Security Advisor. Let's take a look at this. To take a look at this development and the offer by the senator representing Kaduna Central to mediate in the proposed talks between the federal government and Boko Haram, and also on the current pounding of Sambisa Forest by the Nigerian military. I'm being joined on the news at 10 by Colonel Nojim Shobo, a retired army officer and a security expert here. Welcome to the news at 10.
Good afternoon. Good evening. It's a pleasure meeting you. Thank you very much. Yes, good evening.
I don't know if, were you surprised by what Senator Shekau said, that if called on, he would be willing to negotiate with Boko Haram on behalf of the federal government?
I'm not surprised, because even in the past administration, efforts were in progress to make sure that sub-negotiations were made with Boko Haram. The journey started in earnest then, but because of foreign influences, which says that negotiation with terrorists is not a convention, that was what stopped it. So if the issue is coming up now, I am not surprised about it.
But do you think that Nigeria should actually negotiate with Boko Haram? Because one of the major concerns is you don't even know who you're negotiating with. First of all, we don't even know who Boko Haram's leader is, although Shekau recently released an audio message saying that he is still alive, he's well, and so on. But who, if we're going to negotiate, who are we negotiating with?
Don't forget, one thing we have to take a look at is winning the war as it is now in the case of terrorists is not all about going into combat. It's not about the issue of weapons. It's not about the issue of aeroplanes. It's not about the issue of bombing. It's not about the issue of exploiting chemicals or harassing, intimidating, or coercing the locals. What they should be doing right now is winning the heart and minds of the people. It's a peaceful coexistence, security awareness, and then you see, propaganda is an effective weapon of war. A lot of propaganda should be put in place. The people should be aware. A lot of community services should be put in place. And this is part of negotiation. Not until you sit down on a conference table, eating and drinking tea, that you are looking at negotiation. You should be winning the heart and minds of the people. Community relations. A little bit of conversation with the youth, with the women, re-establishing them, giving them confidence, reassuring them. They are part of negotiation.
Oh, but do you think with all that Boko Haram has done in the past 6 years that they do deserve to be negotiated with?
Well, when you are prosecuting a war, you have the carrot and you have the stick. If you are going on with the stick and you discover the stick is not winning the war, you can equally dangle carrot in their presence. If they agree to take the carrot, all well and good. But again, while you are using the carrot, there is nothing wrong in you equally joining the stick together with the carrot. It depends on which one will satisfy your lot. It's a possible option. So,
yeah. So Boko Haram has, earlier this year they declared allegiance to the Islamic State,
yes,
which is already present in Syria and in Iraq, and it's been fought by the coalition government there. And ISIS has accepted Boko Haram's pledge of allegiance. Right now, the Nigerian government says that they're monitoring young people who are using social media to have discussions on joining ISIS. Do you think that such monitoring will be effective? Can you really monitor conversations like that and know who is talking about what and clamp down on the conversations and the people who are having these conversations?
Yes, the monitoring terrorist activities, in fact, generally the public. corporate organizations, countries, individual countries, even within the country is not a new thing, because when we are looking at globalization today, you are looking at the impact of internet, ICT on the development and then the economic and military operations of the various countries, including strategy. So if you take a look at the United Kingdom, United States of America, the Israeli government, they have been embarking on monitoring the activities of their citizens, corporate organizations, and even including foreign countries to ensure that the activities of their people going to foreign land are not retrogressive in the development of their various countries. And if you take a look at it, the Prime Minister of United Kingdom, David Cameron, has just come out 3 weeks ago with a 5-year plan to embark on the radicalization of the United Kingdom citizens. And they have leveled that responsibility on the shoulders of the elders of the Islamic group in United Kingdom. The United States of America is embarking on the principles of elimination because they know the terrorists are within their midst. So therefore, they don't want to give chances. So, and a typical example is the case of Edward Snowden, who came up and started to reveal to the public, including foreign countries, on how the United States of America have been monitoring the activities of insurgents, activities of individuals, activities of foreign countries. And now, thank God, the United States government has placed a tag on him, dead or alive. They want his body back in the United States to pay the price of his atrocity.
So in other words, the Nigerian government is on the right path.
It's on the right path. Babafemi Lawal was sentenced to 22 years imprisonment, just like Wednesday, by a United States judge because he participated with Al-Qaeda. He collected $9,000 from the late Al-Qaeda leader to recruit Nigerian citizens to join the Al-Qaeda. And then just 2 weeks ago, Umar and Jamilu, they were arrested in India when they were trying to scale the fence between the Nigeria and Pakistani border on their way to Iraq to join the ISIS. And then, of course, on the 25th of October, 25th of December in 2009, Umar Mutalab, the son of a known Nigerian bank manager in the past, was arrested when he was trying to detonate a plastic explosive on the way from Amsterdam to Detroit. He was called an underwear bomber because the bomb refused to explode. So, and of course, just last week, Nigerian Immigration Services, they've just told us that they barred the movement of 4,916 Nigerians from going outside the country to join ISIS. It is not they are going that matters to the country, but they are returning back, they become a problem to the country. Where do we keep them? And if the country decides to embark on the policy of elimination by interaction, you cannot eliminate 4,000 people from the earth. It's not possible.
I have to say that's where we have to leave it, Colonel Shekau. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your comments tonight on Boko Haram and the government's efforts at quelling the insurgency.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Colonel Najim Shekau is a retired army officer. He's also a security expert. Well, Boko Haram leader Abubakar Shekau says he is still a leader of the militant group in Nigeria's northeast region. Shekau confirmed this in an audio message in which he denied that he had been replaced. He says he's still in command of the insurgent group. There have been speculation about his existence because he has not been appearing in recent videos posted by the group, causing many to think he had been killed. However, Shekau said in an audio message, quote, "I am alive. I will only die when the time appointed by Allah comes." End of quote. And we're part two after the break. Gully erosion wreaks havoc in Nekede community in Imo State. That's in a moment. Please join us again.